as Leeds continue at the top of the table as 1992 comes round, and we've got a slogan for Leeds this season: we'll follow you in 92. Intense speculation about the ground today concerning Martin Afire. The only news I can tell you for definite is that Wigan have tabled a £450,000 bid, and Widnes intend to speak to Leeds shortly. Well, Leeds go into today's game with the confidence of 7 or 8 consecutive wins behind them, including that Regal Trophy semi-final victory over Salford at Valley Parade, Bradford, a few weeks ago. Well, Salford lacking a few key players from then: Ian Blease, Mick Waddle and of course Adrian Adley injured, and Leeds have had a shock with Richard Gunn having to pull out because of a back injury. So I'll just go through the teams for you now. For Leeds, Phil Ford is at full-back. Carl Gibson, David Creaser, Simon Irving and John Bentley are the three-quarters. Gary Schofield and Bobby Gould in the half-backs. Steve Malloy, Colin Maskill and Cavalier, the front row. Mike O'Neill, Roy Powell returns. In the second row, Gary Devotees at loose forward, and Paul Dixon and Sean Wayne are the substitutes. And for Salford, Steve Gibson is at full-back. Tex Evans, Paul Reynolds, Peter Williams, Martin Burkitt, the three-quarters. David Cruikshank, former Leeds player, is at 6. Frank Cassidy is at 7. David Young, another former Leeds player, at 8. Mark Lee, Jed Stasic are the front two. Shane Hanson, Austin Donegan and Arthur Bradshaw, the forwards. John Gilfillan and Chris Randall are the substitutes. And the referee today, Mr. Brian Goltris of Bradford. Leeds taking the field in to a tremendous ovation from this big crowd, big New Year's Day crowd here at Headingley today. And disappointing news for one Leeds player: Richard Gunn injured his back in training and not fit to take his place, and Richard very, very disappointed as competition hots up for places with that Regal Trophy final just around the corner. And already news that the Bramley game, scheduled for the week after the Regal Trophy final, or for the same weekend, has been switched, and that will be played at Helen Road, Leeds, on either Wednesday or Tuesday evening of the following week, and that all depends on a problem with Leeds United as regards whether they have any replays or not. But as always, you can keep bang up to date by looking out for the match video. So Salford then with a point to prove, I think, this afternoon. They had a tremendous first half against Leeds in that Regal Trophy, and the man who's just coming up to the middle of the pitch now, Gary Schofield, was the architect of that defeat after they'd looked well away winners at 11 points to 2. And Mark Lee, the hooker there, captaining the side instead of Ian Blease. And Ian Blease injured today. Mark Lee, a tremendous hooker, tremendous prospect, kicks very well from dummy half. Leeds will have to watch his kicks from dummy half. So Leeds playing, as far as they're concerned, the wrong way. They like to play down the hill first. And Salford have won the toss and they've picked to play into the wind. What wind there is, it's dropped considerably since this morning. The wind will be blowing from left to right. Look at his Schofield and gets the game underway. Steve Malloy and Cavalier, the two props, in quickly at the tackle. David Young, a man with a point to prove again this afternoon. Didn't have the best of games in the Regal Trophy semi-final, quiet sort of a game, but he's keen to make his mark. Well, that's clever there. Clever play from Peter Williams. Exactly, that's a long ball out and well taken there. Taken well there by Paul Reynolds. Evans coming inside. Salford up to the halfway line, and that's the 6th tackle. That'll be the changeover. Referee by Goltris. Of course, the referee the whole game with the famous Ellery Hanley incident. Devotees pumping onto that ball from Bobby Gould and brought down in a 2-man Salford tackle on the halfway line. Offside there, number 6, David Cruikshank, and that's the first time he's been seen at Headingley since his sending off against St Helens a few years ago when he was Leeds' late season replacement for Craig Coleman. Steve Malloy, that's that good, hard, solid running there from Steve Malloy, and he's back in the side today. After being substitute, just rested Dougie Lawton, switching the squad around in this run up to the Regal Trophy final. A lot of matches to play. Lawton goes himself, throwing the ball, showing the ball. Slipping it inside, Cavalier and Maskill heading for that line. Leeds just 5 metres short now. There's a switch on here. Schofield. A lovely long ball out there. And picked up there by Burkitt. A lovely tackle from Steve Malloy. Shane Hansen, the Kiwi, just Justin Donegan, former Wigan player. And Frank Cassidy, former Swinton halfback, kicks over the top. He finds a good touch 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. The head and ball to the longers. The first set piece of the game. Bobby Golding feeds that ball, it's out to Leeds. Bentley comes in and he's in the middle of the field, John Bentley. Bentley still going, that's good running there from John. And a great running there from John Bentley, superb show of power there. Schofield, Powell now. Pushing men off, Roy Powell, another man delighted to be back in the side after being rested on Boxing Day. Golding, Schofield, Simon Irving. Cavalier now, straight in play up, through the first tackler, 10 metres outside the 22, 6 tackles says Mr. Golchus. The Golding trying a long range drop goal. That just sails wide, so that'll be a tap on the 22. Leeds, of course, with Phil Ford at fullback today instead of Marvin Edwards. And again, Salford, as Gary Schofield said, after the Regal Trophy semi-final, the most difficult team to play against in the league, with getting the ball out on the tackle all the time. That was Arthur Bradshaw. Leeds just allowing Frank Cassidy to run with that ball until he ran out of options. Cruikshank. That kickle won't find touch, in fact it bounces lovely for Phil Ford, who sets off up the touchline side, stepping now. Simon Irving. Taking play away from the touchline into the middle of the field. Schofield will find Powell. Oh, it's a good ball there from Cavalier to Roy Powell. Schofield this time will kick. And that's pushing Gibson back into the corner. And Irving's up quickly and brings him down. And it's good running there from the Leeds cover. Shane Hansen, tackle there from Schofield and Maskill. Mark Lee, Cassidy again, just a kick in. Forward there, picking up a difficult ball. He's got one man flat on his back. Just with a wiggle of those famous hips. Steve Malloy. Rorty. Play 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Golding kicking early now in the tackle count. It's not going to find touch. That's just going to stop over the touching goal area. And again, Irving up quickly there, and Gibson's counter-attack snuffed out almost as soon as it began. Evans. Salford will certainly miss Mick Waddle and Ian Blease today. Burkitt now turning plays inside out there and using the handoff to great effect. He's round forward and Schofield's after him, brings him down. Only a last-ditch tackle there. Burkitt, a tremendous couple of games in the Regal Trophy, the first against Wigan and then of course the semi-final against Leeds. Looks a real class player. Shifted to the wing today. That's a high kick, that's for Phil Ford. And safely taken and brought away, that's good play from Ford. Short ball to Mike O'Neill. And Leeds now for the first time in their 22 in possession. Steve Malloy. Rivalta. And Maskell has put that ball down, a difficult pass there, and Maskell just couldn't take that. Lovely move between Maskell and Devotee. Irving as ever, solid in the tackle. Pulling Paul Reynolds down. Stazika, another former Wigan player in this Salford lineup this afternoon. Holding in possession for Leeds, clearing up there. Both sides making a few early errors as they settle it down and try to chest each other out. The packs testing each other out at the moment. Greasy surface, although pitch is in remarkable condition as always here at Edinburgh. And Scoville again in that immaculate kicking style of his, so much time. Hicks finds touch on the 22. Form right on that 22 metre area. Been playing for 9 minutes at the moment. It's still Leeds 0, Salford 0. It's out to the Reds, the Devils. Burkitt again coming inside. Takes all the guile of David Creaser there to bring him down. Shank. Of course, David Cruikshank missed that Regal Trophy semi-final against Leeds with a bad knee injury and his knee's strapped up today. This is his first team game back. And Phil Ford there. Up quickly before Peter Williams. Carl Gibson will take play away from that 10.5 and Peter Williams quickly, former England Rugby Union player. And Salford up, moving up quickly in the tackle and knocking Leeds down. Crowd wanting the ball thrown about. Golding. Missing out men, finds Mike O'Neill. And Mike O'Neill just losing that ball. Steve Gibson. And Salford in a good attacking position now, just outside the Leeds 22. With 5 tackles to go. Cassidy. Bradshaw. Just running into Teddy Schofield out there covering wide. Cruikshank changes play, switches direction, goes himself. Sensible there, Cavalier. Get in between Finton. Support and the ball. Gibson again, and on Salford meant to spare on this side as Gibson steps and goes. That's good play, and the Salford have an overlap here. Tex Evans coming inside. That's a good ball from Martley and Stasiker, and again Bentley having to Cavalier, that is this time over on the far side. Oh, and there's a gap there for Gibson, opened up there. Well, a good pass there, must have resulted in a try to Salford. Knock on there. So Leeds, I'll have Haydon ball at the scrum. You know, I'm feeling that if a really good ball had come out of that pass there from Gibson, that Salford would have been over. Leeds stitched on this near side. "30 minutes gone in the first half." Very devoted. And the crowd giving Leeds a bit of the bird, I think. That's better play, Bentley. Golding goes himself. Masculine support as ever. Livorti kicking again early in that top account, settling play down and scramble form just a metres or so in the Salford half of the field. Cassidy and bringing Tex Evans in. That's a knock on. Dropped that ball as he was getting up there, Tex Evans. So then a scrum just inside the Salford half should give Leeds a chance to. That's the attack. Golding taking his time to get the ball out of the scrum. Cops a stiff arm there from Cassidy. Golden minute ended by Stuart Walker. Gary Schofield finds touch then inside the 22, and Leeds will put some pressure on now, and you can hear the crowd getting right behind the liners. Cavalier 10 metres from that line. Maskill switch of play with Golding. Howell on the burst. Leeds switching play. Schofield. Irving. Irving's held there just a yard short. That's really good play there from Leeds. Bentley. And head and ball forms coming from Leeds. Give them a chance there. John Bentley's pass knocked straight into touch. Golding, that's a good heel, and that's Schofield with a bit of space. Irving switching, coming round there. And of course that run around there at the scrum, which worked so well for David Cruikshank and Schofield when they were at Leeds. David Cruikshank able to work that one out for himself, and Salford back in possession. Leeds losing that ball on this side. David Young. Oh, it's a lovely ball to Gibson, and that's somebody with some space there. That's Reynolds. And takes Evans, and now is he going to score? Evans, he's got Gibson with him, he's coming inside Ford. And he's run left, Phil Ford for dead there, and goes under the post and waves to the crowd. Superb try there from Salford, great play from Gibson and Evans and Reynolds. And Salford taking the lead in with the try at the side of the post. On takes Evans. There should be a simple kick from Martin Burkitt. If indeed it is Martin Burkitt's kicking, yes it is. So the pace of Tex Evans there for everyone to see. And play switching right from the 22 at one end. Right down. To the try line at the other. Both Leeds substitutes warming up. That's Sean Wayne and Paul Dixon. And Burkitt converts. So 6-0 then. Leeds trailing at Headingley this afternoon. About 20 minutes gone. Quarter of the way through this game. Shaw. Wiggin Schofield's kick back up to the 22. Cassidy, Cruikshank, Stazika. Very good tackle by Simon Irving. Brings the battle-shaped Stazika down. Knocked to the floor. Mark Lee kicks from that in half. Straight down Phil Ford's throat. And Ford now bringing the ball back. John Bentley will go on a gallop himself here. Just allowing the Leeds cover to get back. Malloy. A good tackle in there from Steve Malloy from Austin Donegan, rocking him back on his heels. Powell now. And Salford certainly up quick. Had to play the ball. And Schofield running with that ball. That's Devotee through the gap. Still going, Gary Devotee, and he's into his own to the Salford half of the field. Mr. Golter signals a sixth tackle. It's for Gary Schofield. It's a high spinning crossfield kick. Back that bounces on the point of the ball and scores dead. The Leeds will certainly not want to give up this top spot in the league without a fight. Cruikshank, Bradshaw. Hanson, the New Zealander, well wrapped up there. Cruikshank and Cassidy certainly working the oracle in the middle of the field. That's good, clever play from Cruikshank. On the full. There'll be a scrum with Edinburgh and Leeds just inside the Salford half of the field. Cruikshank kicking before the sixth tackle. So Goulding. Schofield, short ball, Mentley's away again now. Certainly Leeds using John Bentley to good effect from these scrums. Ford spots the gap, goes himself. Bentley again. Wrapped up in the middle of the field. This time Maskill comes. O'Neill in space and still into the 22, Mike O'Neill. going to be Orty, and that's going to be a try to Gary Schofield. First class piece of rugby from Leeds this afternoon. Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill was put into space there, and men in support, Gary Devotee, Simon Irving, Gary Schofield, and try. Scored just about 15 metres in from the touchline side. John Gallagher in the Leeds squad over the holidays. Excuse my coughing, I've had a dreadful flu over the holiday period. Looks like Leeds could be planning to bring on a substitute. Paul Dixon is certainly warming up. John Gallagher on with the sand. Simon Irving. Simon Irving strikes that well. What a superb kick from Simon Irving. So we're back to level pegging at 6 points each. 1 try and 1 goal each. And Leeds looking to make a substitution. Cavalier coming off with Paul Dixon on. Mike O'Neill will move up to prop, I think. Burkitt kicking off, and that ball hanging in the wind for Dixon. Great favourite here with the crowd. Malloy. Roy Powell. Oh, that's good play from Roy Powell. Spotted the gap lovely there and used those big legs to good effect. Steve Gibson picking that ball up in his 22, turns round, running out, and Leeds covered up quickly. Roy Powell and Mike O'Neill. Stazika brought down. David Young. Hanson there, trying to throw the shoulder dummy, and Dixon not falling for that. Cruikshank turning that ball back inside, and that's typical Featherstone Rovers plays, that winning play one way and turning it back inside. And Leeds will have to be aware of that, and Leeds defence hung off there waiting for that kick. Tracy's on, and Carl Gibson will clear up for Leeds. Well, Leeds there stood back and waited for Mark Lee to kick, and then he decided to run with the ball. And now Leeds pinned back on their own line with David Creaser. Gibson again, trying to use that sidestep to get away from the danger area, striving over the advantage line. Schofield, just a half break there from Gary Schofield, and a good tackle from Austin Donegan there. 6 tackle and Leeds. I use Schofield's kick to get them out of trouble. And it spins, and bounces for Gibson. Just outside his 22. To the halfway, that's a lovely break there from Gibson. He's broken away there, and the chance is here again for Salford. Hanson. And certainly Salford splitting Leeds open down the middle of the field. Stazika trying to go over on his own there, driven back. Good break there from Gibson. Cruikshank. That's a try. 10 metres or so from the post, and a try there to Reynolds. There's certainly an inch of crossing there during that move, and Leeds defence just stood off waiting for the penalty, I feel. And back inside there, John Bentley covering the winger. Or Salford taking the lead again. Well, 28 minutes gone there, Reynolds. Put Salford back in the lead, and Burkett's kick not as easy as the last one, but still should be no problem. There's certainly a hint of crossing in that move from Cassidy. But Leeds have been ripped apart twice now down the middle of the field. Salford turning that ball back inside, and Gibson there on a lovely run. And he's missed it this time. So it's 10 points to 6. Salford in the lead. And Larry Schofield will kick off again. Tex Evans now will run that ball out. Salford not expecting that ball to be passed there. Cruikshank just organising men out wide, and ball just thrown back anyway. And lucky there for Salford that that ball didn't ricochet back to a Leeds man. Hansen. Donegan making that ball available, but the support not there. And that kick's put in, and that'll be all on there, and Mike O'Neill will pick up that ball for Leeds. Ball ricocheting off a Leeds boot as it went through. Gibson. And a spell at loose forward, Carl Gibson in the Swinton game. Dixon. Still running Paul Dixon, that's good play. Gibson again now. Golding. Schofield. Catching play, going himself. Malloy. For Eagles signals it's the last tackle, and Bobby Golding will kick this time. Well, that's a lovely kick, spinning there, faint to kick it to the right and touch line, and kicked it just along to the left with a lovely spinning ball, and that's foul touch. On the 22. Referee not happy with the scrum, so we'll have to try again and bringing them back to the 10-yard mark. But Shank bringing Evans in. Evans has gone without the ball this time, and Leeds in possession. And that's as good as a scrum heel to the liners. Simon Irving forward in the line. Leeds have got men over here. Salford back in possession, that ball just ricocheting off a Salford player. David Young. Cassidy. Stasic. Dixon holding on there. Grim death on Stasic. Awkward shape, awkward man to tackle. Lee runs from empty half. Ball not on the ground. 6 more tackles to Leeds in possession, and Salford player down injured. Mike O'Neill just skirts around him as he takes that ball into the 22. Steve Malloy. Maskell, Roy Powell on, put that ball down there. Well, that'll give Salford a chance to get there. Hooker Martley back. Lee back up, looks like his thigh injury. He's just going to loose forward as Cassidy works his scrum and feeds Cruikshank. Gibson again, going from acting half back. Cruikshank. Just slipping there and slipping into Colin Maskell. Donegan. And Maskell certainly tackling like a tiger this afternoon. Pass. Schofield drives Bradshaw back there, good 10 metres. Bradshaw having to stoop to pick up the bad ball. Gibson, tricky kicking. Ford. Kicks off now. Dodging, weaving, twisting. Bentley, looking for work in the middle of the field. Straightening up now, and power again from John Bentley, and the pace takes him up the wing. Keeson, and he's going to be a try to Leeds. He's going to be a try to Leeds. Superb pass there from John Bentley. Finds David Keeson in clear space, and Keeson romping over under the post. Second try in 2 games, and a great run there from John Bentley. That puts Leeds level terms with a kick to come. Superb run there from John Bentley, using his strength on the outside. Suspicion of a forward pass in that move. Pass from Bentley to Creasy could have been forward, I think, but the referee said it was okay, and it makes up for the double movement, the crossing movement in the Salford try, which all ends up equal. Leeds in the lead by 12 points to 10. And the main stand there just applauding John Bentley as he runs back to his mark for a kick-off. And he's ringing the changes again, number 8 going off this time. Oh, Steve Malloy. Sean Wayne. So Burkitt with the kick for the corner. Mike O'Neill will eventually pick that ball up. Ball stopping in no man's land. And again O'Neill over that advantage line and up to the 22. What a great buy he's been for Leeds. Dixon. Powell. Almost though, just falling over there, and Leeds starting to put some sort of play together. Sean Wayne. Golding will kick. Again, that spinning ball, bouncing on its point, bouncing in the touch, just short of the 22. Scrum out there, and Cruikshank in possession now, and he's running at the defence. Dangerous play, David Cruikshank, when he runs with that ball. That was one of the features of his play when he took over from Craig Coleman, who was more of an organising type. Scrum half that Cruikshank really ran with the ball. Cassidy. Young in a bit of space now. To quickly closed up that gap there by Mike O'Neill. And that finished up in the director's box. So you can see where that kick went spinning out on the full. And so Leeds will have heading ball at scrum again, just 10-12 metres or so outside the Salford 22. Schofield. Short ball for Bentley, and Bentley going again this time. Coming in some rough treatment there from Arthur Bradshaw and Gibson. Schofield's ball finds Devotee on the 22, and Leeds looking to switch play to the other flank now. Long pass. Bounces for Dixon. Dixon's away from Cruikshank. Simon Irving with space, with room to move. Still going, struggling up to the 22. And certainly Salford defence up quickly and tight this afternoon. Not many gaps for Leeds, and there'll be something here. Schofield has men to spare on that side. Sean Wayne forward. And on to the last tackle signals Brian Goltris. Leeds will for a crossfield high kick. Steve Gibson takes it. And immediately takes the tackle of Roy Powell and Colin Maskill. Coming into the last couple of minutes of this game. Much stoppage time, just the injury to Mark Lee. Leeds leading by those 12 points to 10. Bradshaw. Reynolds again, and this time he's given Evans room. Gary Schofield across there. The drifting rolling defence working to good effect. Hanson. Again Schofield. Still a tremendous amount of tackling there. Gary Schofield. Cassidy. Cruikshank. Ball just moving along the line. Austin Donegan. And couldn't get his pass away. Thick's tackle coming up. Peter Williams kicks. Carl Gibson has it for Leeds, and Burkitt and Williams coming up on him. And leaves the first attempted tackle for dead. And Williams recovers and tackles him forward. Forward with both feet off the ground. Short ball for John Bentley. Crashing into a tackle there. O'Neill. Maskill spots the gap from acting half. And up to the last tackle. Schofield. Just feel kicking for the corner as he did so effectively. Parade, and that finds touch. And then in fact that won't be anybody's advantage, because there goes the scrum by half time. Got the hooter for half time, and Gary Schofield and David Cruikshank just have a word with each other as they go off. So 12 points to 10 here at Headingley, with Salford opening the scoring after a lovely move down the side. Steve Gibson put Paul Reynolds through a gap with a short pass. He timed his pass perfectly to Tex Evans, and Evans over. Near enough for Burkitt to convert, leads it back straight away. Gary Schofield, Irving converted with 6 apiece, and then Reynolds had a try from Salford after Steve Gibson ran 60 yards down the middle of the field, set up position. Reynolds went over. Suspicion of a double movement there, I thought. That was on 28 minutes. And then Crease had a try after superb play by John Bentley. And Irving converted. It was 12 points to 10. That's how it stands here at half time. Here, and I'd like to wish my daughter Louise Duffy happy birthday today. New Year's Day girl, 7 years old today. She arrived in Leeds the same day as Eric Groth arrived, but he managed to score 3 tries, and so far all she's done has cost me a pretty packet. But anyway, happy birthday Louise, and I hope you're enjoying the game today. Paul Dixon coming out there, feet from the kick-off, and that's determination at its best. great tackle on him as well. It's good rugby league, Austin Donegan. The tackle just shaking Paul Dixon, was winding him. Mike O'Neill. Devorty. Up tipped and dropped on by Bradshaw. Askill spots the gap. 6 played within 10 metres of the halfway line. It's the 6th tackle. Schofield, high spinning kick, and that's spinning dangerously for Steve Gibson, but he takes it well in those big shovel-like hands of his. The first half scrums went 6 for Leeds and 6 for Salford, and the penalties 2 to Leeds, and Leeds again, as they did in their Eagle Trophy, conceding no penalties at all in that first half. And Dixon's had some attention from Stuart Walker. One a mistake there, and Burkett in possession. Salford have 6 more tackles. A clever kick over there. Peter Williams driving for the line. So Leeds with some defending to do. Salford just 5 or 6 metres from that line. Stasic running around there with Cassidy. Cruikshank, and Cruikshank's put that ball down. Leeds in possession with Phil Ford. And Mike O'Neill is all. And Lee down again, injured there in that skirmish. Schofield. Solid tackle on Gary Devorty. Schofield finds Dixon. Dixon lost his boot in that skirmish, but still managed to run on. And Cruikshank there, didn't bother for that, throwing his boot away, and that's a penalty to Leeds. Throwing his boot into the crowd there, that's unsportsmanship, unsportsmanlike behaviour. And a penalty for it. Lucky not to find himself sin bin there for that. Sean Wayne now barging his way forward. That's good running from Sean Wayne. All 10 metres there from the tap. Golding, Scott Devorty with him. Straightening up Gary Devorty. Head-high tackle from Hanson, but not dangerous. Schofield. Dixon. Loose arm coming in there from Donegan. Sean Wayne again, certainly looking for work this afternoon, a former Wigan player. Golding cleverly switching play, chips over. Structured there. 6th tackle now, Leeds. Schofield running with that ball. Dixon. Golding now, what can he do here? Askill. Schofield again now, it's good play this. Bentley, that's a try, there's Johnny Bentley, and he'll be delighted with that one, John Bentley, this afternoon. And a happy new year to you, John. That's a great try in support again, coming in off his wing. And Scully working the oracle after Leeds had thrown that ball about a la Salford, or Salford style if you want to call it that. Just throwing that ball out of the tackle to men in support. So on the 6th tackle as well, Leeds choosing to run the ball. So 45 minutes gone. Leeds further in the lead with that try to John Bentley. The 3rd try of the afternoon. Good spell of attacking play there from Leeds. Bobby Golding, great chip over and chase. So Simon Irving then has this kick from just to the right of the post. It's just inside the 22. He's taking the ball back. Wants that between the sticks. 18 points to 10, Leeds in the lead. And David Cruikshank might think twice again before he throws people's boots away, as that try came directly as a result of that penalty. And that's certainly not even a penalty worth conceding. Gage did absolutely nothing at all. Forward. Mike O'Neill. And that's good tackling from Cruikshank. Leeds using runners on both sides of the ruck. Sean Wayne. Truly great player, Sean Wayne. Does all the dirty work, the not noticed work. Golding almost through. In fact, he is through, and just the cover coming back to wrap him up. We're up to halfway, and it's the last tackle. Schofield puts the kick in. That'll find touch just inside the 22. Yes, indeed. Despite Burkett's attempts to get there first. So it'll be head and ball to Salford. So saying Sean Wayne does all the dirty work, the hard work, the unseen work very well. Always there to take the ball up, whether it's on the opposing line or his own line, and gets through a tremendous amount of tackling. Burkett coming in off his wing. And just driven back there, good play from Leeds. Bradshaw, Schofield wrapping him up. Kick finds touch just below us, just inside the Leeds half of the field. In scrummel form. One against the head there for Salford. Salford putting that push on which they did to good effect in the Regal Trophy semi-final. Using the scrummaging skills of former Welsh and British Lion prop David Young. Anson. Well pulled down there by Gary Schofield. Forward pass there. And Burkett there. Getting a good ball from Peter Williams eventually. And certainly Salford playing as only they play, just keeping that ball alive. Desperate attempts at times to get the ball out of the tackle. And if you play like that, of course, you lose the... impetus, and that's all right if it works. Leeds will turn over. Maskey goes from acting half. Ford spots the gap. That's good running there from Ford. Row from the Crowders. That's brought Leeds away from the 22. Golding will find Roy Powell. Schofield's kicks down into that corner for Gibson, and Gibson having to run a long way back and pick that one up, and the Leeds covered up again quickly. And Schofield and Nivorti wrap Gibson up this time. There's no 60-yard run this time from Steve Gibson. Burkett slipping as he comes across field looking for work, and that's good play from Leeds now, keeping him penned down there. Stasica. And Leeds certainly worked out this play of attempting to stop Salford from moving the ball out of the tackle. Masculine, usually third man and usually high up round the arms. That's good to see. Oh, and Ford now leaving. That's a step back to Phil Ford's days at Wigan and Bradford there. Beat the winger for pace and round him on the outside. Lovely to see. Great bit of skill there from Phil Ford. Playing at full back today, of course. Devotti. Oh, great play from Gary Devotti. What a great Maskell. Dixon now. And Salford recovering well there. Dixon expecting men in support, and Bobby Goulding just a bit late getting there and couldn't fall on the loose ball, which would have given Leeds another 6 tackles. But great play from Leeds. Superb run from Gary Devotti. Gibson. Cruikshank a little slow with that pass from dummy half and putting his man in trouble. Austin Donegan. Cassidy. Salford taking to kick in early on that tackle count now. Salford, substitute coming on. It's John Gilfillan coming on. It's Mark Lee that's coming off. He's had a couple of knocks, and I think Salford will miss Mark Lee. And Gibson this time in off the wing looking for work. Gilfillan immediately in on the tackle. That's Randall. The other sub. O'Neill. Powell. Pirouette there from Roy Powell. Maskell again in support, over now. Right on the halfway ball, right on the halfway line as Maskell's brought down Ford. Goulding. Dodges, goes yourself, and Salford alert to that this time. And second row men wrap him up, Schofield. Kicking again into space for Gibson. Gibson letting that ball go past him. And he's still up to the 22 from Steve Gibson. That's good play from him. And Devotti just coming in to make sure. Stazika. Cruikshank. It's a lovely inside ball there from Hansen. And again, Leeds losing Maskell and Devotti at this tackle and cutting off that supply of ball, which is Salford's game. And Leeds concede a penalty against Salford for the first time in 1 3/4 games. So Salford have a chance then to put some pressure on. They've got 6 tackles to go. They're in the Leeds half of the field. We're playing 15 minutes of this second half. The ball immediately comes out there, and Roy Powell picks it up for Leeds and makes ground as well. Stazika it was who lost that ball in the ferocity of the tackle. Mike O'Neill. Goulding, Schofield. Short ball there for Devotti. Sean Wayne just overrunning that ball. Reynolds push back there. Leeds keen as ever in the tackle this afternoon. Certainly come out fired up in this second half. Stazika. David Young brought down with consummate ease there by Roy Powell. Hansen. And knock on and spotted there by Mr. Goltris. Good tackle there from Colin Maskell. It's out to Golding and out to Leeds. Schofield, bring Bentley in. Bentley again, leaving Ben for dead. Bentley. He's still going. Oh, and finds Simon Irving in support. That's good play again from John Bentley. Well, he must be a strong candidate for man of the match this afternoon, John Bentley. Looked dangerous and exciting, which is more important for people here at Leeds. The supporters, that is. Oh, Roy Powell there with a dummy. And the dummy there, I think he'd have even sold that to Mr. B. Schofield now with space to work, and he's put Creaser away. Forward inside, put that ball down there. And Salford annoyed with each other, shouting and bawling and wanting men across there with a load of Leeds players with hands and feet to spare on that far side. And Roy Powell sold an outrageous dummy then, which was bought by at least half the Salford team. Nine stumps to 8, Salford taking them, including that one against the head. And certainly a good tackling performance from Leeds' second half. Cruikshank missing out Young. Craig Randall. Mark O'Neill just popped a bang on the head. And Cassidy running with the ball instead of passing and just ran as far as Colin Maskell. Cruikshank. David Young brought down. This kicks for Phil Ford. The ball through Ford's legs and he picks that up. He steps his way back out of trouble and up to the 22. Peter Williams falling awkwardly on his arm. Gibson. Schofield finds Simon Irving. Bentley certainly made the transition under Dougie Lawton's guidance from a rugby union player to a rugby league player. Looks exciting every time he has that ball, does John Bentley. And the South End crowd have taken to him, which always means a lot here at Headingley. And Schofield. Gibson, lovely ball, the car Gibson. Gibson coming back inside. And that's the turnover. He's electing to run on the 6th tackle. Hansen. Cruikshank. Donegan has got men either side and chooses to go himself, and Simon Irving brings off a textbook tackle. Man and ball straight down to the floor. 1-2. Stazika. Cassidy running there and Colin Maskell just telling everybody to take Cassidy. Cruikshank using the short side, turning back inside. And certainly Salford moving this ball. Devotee wraps David Young up and that progress is halted. Cassidy kicks and that'll find touch. Indeed it does. Keeping the Leeds 22. And Leeds about to make a substitution. I think Colin Maskell is going to come off. Still struggling there. I think he's got a knock. Cavalier coming on to replace Colin Maskell. Leeds can't afford to risk Colin Maskell with Richard Gunn incapacitated with that back injury. And that ball eventually finding its way to Bobby Golding. Golding still going down that field. He's got Schofield with him. He's got Ford now with space to run in. Come back inside. Dancing. Great break there from Bobby Golding. And what a class player Bobby Golding really is. Dougie Lawton's first signing. Cavalier gone to acting half now in the absence of Colin Maskill. O'Neill. Sean Wayne. Knock on. Yes, that's right there, Leeds. Getting the put in there because Randall did have the advantage, he had the ball in his hands. In fact, it was Cassidy had the ball in his hands for a while. A good push required here from Leeds. Irving looking for the run around. What's the gap? And strong and hard, Simon Irving into the 22, which is good play from Leeds. And Salford just holding down while the cover gets back. Golding. Cavalier. Tipping play, Leeds in the middle of the field. Golding again, he's looks for, dodges, weaves, takes the tackle. Powell gives that ball to Schofield. Schofield chips over. And charge down, kick backwards. Gibson. And Gibson plays the ball himself. He's got the length of the field to go, and he's got to take Evans with him. And Bentley coming back and wrapping him up there. Very dangerous customer, Steve Gibson. Evans will go himself now. Salford with men in support. And the Leeds cover coming back now, and impetus probably gone a bit there for Salford, but they're in a dangerous position just outside the Leeds 22. Randall coming back in, not able to offload the ball this time. Cruikshank dictating play, running around there. Hansen up to the last tackle. First time Salford have been in possession here for a while. Oh, that's good play. And thrown anywhere, and Mike O'Neill picks up for Leeds. Well, Salford's policy of playing that style of rugby doesn't always come off. It's too many risks, and when it all goes for you, it really goes for you, but when it doesn't, and you see in that situation, you give away valuable possession and position. And Schofield. And Powell again. Nobody running off Caddy Schofield there. There's one or two Leeds players just on a little rest in the middle of the field. Golding. It's a long raking kick. Takes Evans, he'll pick it up. He's rounding his outside John Bentley, and he's got the length of the field to go. Schofield's coming across. What a great tackle from Gary Schofield. And Salford certainly not dead and buried in this game there. Keane. Bradshaw. Lovely ball there, and Burkett unlucky there and couldn't take that ball, so that was almost a sure 2 points. I think David Cruikshank going to come off now. Cruikshank walks towards the touchline. That's Gilfillan coming on now. It was Bellamy who came on before. Rivorti. Sean Wayne there on the burst now. Up to the full-back before he's brought down. Support not really in an advantageous position to Sean Wayne. He had to take the tackle. Support there, but the ball couldn't be got safely to them. Crease Dixon pumps men off. Still going Paul Dixon. This is going to be the winning try for Leeds. It is indeed. And he'll be no more popular try than that, because Paul Dixon, a very big favourite and playing superbly at this time of his career. And he's 66 minutes gone there, they're trying the corner to Paul Dixon, and I don't think Salford will come back now. Fourth Leeds try. Lovely run there, second plate from Sean Wayne. Creaser came on, managed to offload that ball. Dixon in support, out wide, bumping off men and running round the winger Martin Burkitt and scoring right at the side of the corner flag. Simon Irvin's a difficult kick. And another good goal kicker just springing the sand on him, John Gallagher, who's kicked quite a few goals this season in the A-team from all over the park. Back in the Leeds squad for this Boxing Day, New Year's Day encounter with Salford. Simon Irvin. £22 points to 10 then, Leeds in the lead with a kick from Simon Irvin to come. Side spinning. It's just short there. Difficult kick. Burkitt's high kick this time was taken by Dixon. Both feet off the floor and running out again with rare purpose. Never really fails to get to the 22. Paul Dixon. Steve Malloy back on now, and Dougie Lawton sensibly ringing these changes, keeping the forwards fresh. Schofield. Cavalier. Sean Wayne. Powell makes a break there. Still going on Roy Powell, he's got the full back to beat. And Ford, nobody's going to catch Phil Ford, and Roy Powell there. Lovely break from the big fella. Stepping out of tackles, and Salford suddenly gone from Richie Sirags in the last few minutes. They look likely to score a couple of tries, and they'll have conceded a couple with letting men run a long way, as they obviously tire him with the tackling. Phil Ford there got shot on the replay. Roy Powell broke on halfway, came towards the near touchline side, slipped out of the tackles, drew the full back. Passed probably a little shade too early to Phil Ford, but Phil Ford's pace enough to take him away from Gibson's despairing dive, and over under the post to make Simon Irvin's goal kick, which should be a formality. And 5 Leeds tries this afternoon. Irvin converts. 28 points to 10. Well, Leeds will certainly remain top of the table this evening. Of course, have a difficult game at Warrington on Sunday. Never easy to win there at Wilderspool. And this time Carl Gibson takes Bobby Golding's pass. And he's up to the 22 before he's brought down by Reynolds and Arthur Bradshaw. Malloy. Cavill. Put him back inside, Cavalier. Been a different player this season. Struggled a bit at the beginning of last season. He's been tremendous. Powell just couldn't offload there to the supporting Paul Dixon. Ball spins again from Gary Schofield's boat. Finds touch. Salford looking to make a substitution, bringing David Cruikshank back on now for Frank Cassidy. Into the last 10 minutes of this game. Leeds well in command, 28 points to 10. Another efficient, calculated and cool performance from the liners this afternoon. Salford commentator was talking to me at half-time and he just thought Leeds had done just enough to be in front. And certainly Leeds. Burkitt pushing men off. Gibson. Slipped and lost that ball backwards. David Crease is taking a knock. Powell catching that ball and staring out Roy Powell. A chip over there from Cruikshank. That ball lost. And Leeds concede their second penalty of the afternoon. Kick will be coming towards our commentary position. David Young. Schofield knocking the pass down. Shank just waiting to feed the scrum. Scrum half in his days at Leeds. And, certainly were playing scrum half at the beginning of the season for Salford, but stand off today and switch now. The scrums 11 to Leeds, 10 to Salford. The penalties 3 to Leeds, 2 to Salford. So it's been a very clean game. Hansen not able to unleash the ball. A penalty there. Full obstruction on Gary Schofield. Well, Schofield then will put Leeds in an attacking position deep in the 22. The crowd roaring now as Sean Wade will take the tap. Bentley going on a run, taking play to within 10 metres of the line. Schofield running around there with Golding. Cavalier. So that's just a yard short. This is great play from Leeds. Dixon using the short side with Golding. And Gibson walking at the corner there for Carl Gibson. 75 minutes gone then, and Leeds 6th try of the afternoon. £32 points to 10, Leeds in the lead. There, Paul Dixon, acting half-back, made as if to signal the players to go left. Pass to the short side to the right, and a long pass from Bobby Golding give Carl Gibson a walk in at the corner there, really. Not a lot of work to do for Carl Gibson. That'll be Carl's first try for a while. In fact, it's only his second try of the season, his first coming at Bradford Northern, when he ran 50 yards from acting half-back. 4 minutes left for play. And the man of the match, all the crowd attendance not been announced. So Simon Irving then, difficult kick right from the touchline side. High and it's spinning, but it's not going over. And the attendance just been announced now. 12,000. Powell, the man of the match award. In the last few weeks, Roy Powell turned in some tremendous performances. He's by far the best Leeds player at Swinton. Paul Dixon. Up to the 22, and it's a great sight to stand up here in this high position in the stand and watch Paul Dixon running out from defence. Certainly the best view in the ground. And Paul Dixon runs out, swerve, pace, power, everything. Alright. Throw the gap there and just ankle taps, and that's... Again, Dixon. And Dixon laughing as ever and always plays a game with a smile on his face. Schofield. Golding. It's the chip in. And the pass intercepted by a Salford man going straight into touch, so Leeds will have heading ball again, and they're just midway between that 22 metres and the halfway area, and the Leeds backs fanning out deep there. It's Golding, goes himself. Vardy showing that ball, going into the 22. Steve Gibson just telling the Salford defence to look over there. It's popped out lovely for Creasy. Gibson in again, is he? Dixon. Sean Wayne eventually picking that ball up. Into the last tackle now, and Vardy taking men on. Can't get the ball away. And turnover will occur. Simon Irving gains possession back for Leeds straight away. Salford making elementary mistakes now, and Leeds pressure telling off. And John Bentley scoring in the corner. Well, would you believe it? Struggled out of the tackle there and scored in the corner. Couldn't get the ball out to men in support. Didn't need anybody in support. Just bumped his way. That's his second try of the afternoon. That's full time on the clock, I think. So there'll just be time for this kick to be taken. John Bentley, certainly one player at Leeds who intends not to give up his place in the side to mount in a fire on anybody else with pretensions to have a number 5 on his back. That's been a superb display this afternoon. Must have been well in the running for the man of the match award. 2 tries, an exciting running every time he gets the ball. Really come to fruition under Dougie Lawton's coaching here at Leeds. Simon Irving's kick is unsuccessful. 36 points to 10 then Leeds. Victory here on New Year's Day against Salford. And just a cool, clinical, calculated dissection of an opposing team, really, Leeds. Not always getting out of second gear, but always had the upper hand, always felt that if another try was needed, somebody was going to get it, and eventually running away, 36 points to 10 winners. Salford folding in the last 15 minutes or so. Well, yeah, Salford in fact opened the scoring with a try from Evans. The great work by the Sentinels on 17 minute. Burkitt converted, it was 6-0, but Leeds was soon back on the 21st. They tried to score for Irving, converted, with 6 points each. And then Reynolds had a try for Salford after a good run by Steve Gibson. It was 10 points to 6. And I'll just pause here as the Leeds team come over and clap the South Stand and the crowd, and that's top of the league as we go into 92. What a great feeling it is to be part of the Leeds team, as it were, now. All the supporters, the players, the staff, everyone here at Headingley absolutely delighted. So then, John Bentley, it was 12-10 at half-time. David Creaser scored in 34 minutes. Irving converted, 12-10, and then the second half, all the scoring went to Leeds. And 45 minutes, Bentley had a try. Irving converted. Dixon had a try in 66 minutes. Ford had a try after great work from Roy Powell. Roy Powell got the man of the match award, and then Carl Gibson walked in after a good pass from Bobby Golding. And Bentley right on time there, forcing his way over at the corner. And Leeds for the scrums. Leeds took the scrums 12-10, but Salford took the one against the head. And the penalties went 4 to Leeds and 2 to Salford. And if you join us shortly, we'll have some interviews for you. 6 points to 10, it looked easy, but the first half was far from that.
Well, Salford are a great side, and they've had some good wins, and we just had to settle our play down a bit. We rushed it a bit too much, and our defence sort of let us down up the middle a little bit. But the orders came to swing it out a bit wider, and once we started doing that, we made ground and capitalised on the breaks.
Yeah, you seem to be taking signs apart there on the second half. Is that the fitness that's coming to the fore?
Yes, well, it's always hard for the first 20 minutes or so, because a lot of teams come here to Leeds and they're always fired up when we play Leeds home and away, because Leeds are a team they want to beat. And we just got to withhold their fire and then go on with the game after that when we get on top.
You're slowly getting back to fitness now following the injury at Wakefield. The strangest one I've ever seen.
Yes, it was strange, but yes, I am getting back. But before the Swinton game, I'd only ran 3 days beforehand, and but match condition is nothing towards getting fit.
Yeah, the squad system working very well now. Everybody fighting for pace.
Yes, and he worked well today, giving the forwards a rest, and gives them that second win when they come back on, and it helps that team a lot, I think.
Okay, Campbell, thanks very much.